Yo, man. Welcome to FKU Africa Podcast. This is your host, Maneza F8, keeping it real, keeping it cool, man. Still here in Worcester, in the Western Cape. This is episode 84. Last episode, we're talking about the apartheid flag, which was, it spoke a lot of, it did spark a lot of controversy with the guys who are intellectually are prepared to talk about these things. There are people who are intellectually can challenge you regarding stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So we did have a nice and very inspiring conversations in terms of making sure how we go about change, go about making sure that people do understand the impact of these things. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that I did talk about with my other friend, he was mentioning that we are now in the race war, but the thing is, we don't know that. We Africans all over the place, all over the world, we are in a race war. But for us, it seems like all these things are random that are happening. Last week it was the flag. This week it was the University of Stellenbosch Detroit kid urinating on this Babalo kid. It's all over his stuff in his dome, man. That was scary to see. Because what next? If they can do that, what next? What are they not prepared to do if they're prepared to do stuff like that? So we are in a race war and we are too blind to notice. One thing I did mention when I was going on and off with him and some of the guys on WhatsApp in voice notes, I did mention to him that the problem with us is that we keep on mentioning that white people had hundreds of years, like 500 years, to capture us, to oppress us, to install all these kind of narratives in our head, install division, install hatred amongst each other, install fear amongst each other. So with that being said, he's saying that they had so long to install these things. As South Africans, we only had less than 30 years or just more than 30 years to reverse all that. So my point is, when it comes to comes to action, us as Africans, we will always find a way of not doing anything. This is an excuse. We cannot rely on excuses. This is an excuse. We cannot say that they had 500 years, we only had 30 years. That doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it that we must endure for the next 500 years to be equal intellectually. No, we are intellectually superior. Everyone knows that. If we would really want it, we would have changed the situation by now. But it doesn't seem like no one is really interested in making sure that there is a bit of a change when it comes to the standard of living of black people, the wealth generation for black people, creating sustainable jobs, sustainable infrastructure in the communities where black people predominantly live. No one is really interested in doing that. And all we say is that we don't have enough time. It's just 30 years. 30 years is enough time, man, to make sure that we put things in place Thomas Sankara had 4 years to make sure that he turned everything around. By the year that he was killed, the 4th year, Burkina Faso was flourishing. And we had 30 years and we haven't done anything with that. Muammar Gaddafi had 4 years, 5 years to spin things around. When he started, literacy rate in his country, it was less than 0.2%. Within 10 years, literacy rate is close to 65%. So if they can manage to do those things, what is stopping us to go on and start doing things without saying that, no, we don't have enough time? Who's going to give us time? The problem with us as Black, we don't really take time to strategize. We don't take time to plan and make sure that we have angles in these things. While the other races, they have angles, they have organizations that they would go for everything. Taking Arabs get their own organizations, they got their own faith, they got their own way of doing things, way of handling businesses, way of bringing businesses to each other. Taking Jews, they have their own communities, have their own faith, their own religion, have their own way of doing things, have their own way of creating businesses for each other. Going to white people, they have their own faith, own religion, own way of doing of forming wealth, own way of working amongst each other and distribute wealth amongst each other. Going to Black people, they got different kind of faiths. They got everyone's faith. They are involved in everyone's faith. They are involved in Arabs' faith. They are involved in white people's faith. They are involved in Jews' faith, in Hebrews' faith, in Hindus' faith, in Buddhism faith, in Satanism. They are involved in. They are just a makar. So we as Black people, we lack, what is the right word for this? We lack precision. We lack precision as Black people. Just taking one thing, tackle one thing, and succeed in that thing. That's what we lack. We're lacking that very, 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 very well and very much, because once one of us had an opportunity to have a tender, what they do, they don't take that tender and go and build and flourish in the locations or wherever Black people are, or even in the villages. No, what they do, they take that tender, instead of doing what they were supposed to be doing. If they were meant to build a bridge that may perhaps cost 200 million or 50 million, let's say 50 million. I don't know how much a bridge costs. I would make an example with 50 million. Instead of making sure that the bridge is being built and people from that community are being employed in there, and so that they can learn skills and also go and do something else with those skills, what they will do, they will hire a small amount of people. They will take their friends' companies from where else and come in there and build a bridge for like 15 million. The rest of the money disappears. In 5 years' time, 10 years' time, the bridge is gone. This is what we're seeing all over South Africa. This is what we're seeing all over in South Africa, that these people, they would be given a lot of money to do the tenders. We had a stadium that we shown in Queenstown that was supposedly built for 15 million. When you see this stadium, it's like it was built for not even for 15,000. Let's say 15,000 per se. Again, they say that 50,000 was paid because the only thing that they did there is the poles left and right, and also the small stands that a welder can do like for, let's say, 7,000. That is all. So this is a pattern that keeps on happening. Instead of building among each other, make sure that the resources that are allocated for that certain thing are being used for that certain thing, instead of people going around wasting money, people going around using the money for their friends and all these kind of things. You see, so man, we are really in trouble. We are really in trouble as South Africans, because not only we lack planning, strategizing, and execution. We lack understanding that we are in a racial war here. This is a racial war. This one. Most white people, they have this knowledge and or this thing of thinking that their race is becoming extinct, meaning that isizwe sabo bona bengabelungu siyaphela. So to maintain that, they think that they should go around killing black people so that they will be almost equal than them. And that is far sinister thought, and it is happening all over the world, but it's happening mostly in America. Recently, there were shootings. A guy came from his town, I think Iowa or something, went to Los Angeles and just go and shoot black people. He had a manifesto, he had a letter that he wrote on why he was killing these people. He says that they were devil, they don't deserve to live amongst other people. So black people must be exterminated. They are cancer among white people. They are fucking their kids. They are raping their kids. They are killing their kids. That's what he says. So this is war. Those people, they are organized. Those neo-Nazis, they are not to be played with. They are organized. They have strategies. If they want to annihilate us, they would. Very easy. Because we, as African people, we like hands out so much, and we like cheap products so much that they can easily poison us with these products that are cheap, we get from these countries. Tinned stuff, chicken, rice, you name them. All these things that we like, that are very cheap. We don't want to buy stuff that are developed here in South Africa. The chicken industry is almost dying in South Africa because China is bringing cheap chicken from China. And we, as South Africans, we buy that because the standard of that chicken, we don't know what is the standard of that chicken compared to the standard of the chicken that is in here. Why is it so expensive? Because this is a real chicken. It has been processed almost the normal way than the chicken that we used to. Those chicken are coming from those places. They are 5 days. They get cracked from the egg today. In a week or 2 weeks time, that's a full chicken ready to be eaten. That's unreal. So we're just eating a bunch of chemicals and steroids without even knowing. So it's really time for us as Africans to come together and strategize and make sure that we plan and execute. That's all. We need to come together and make sure that even if we don't share the same ideas, but we know that we are in a race war. We have different views when it comes to borders. We have different views when it comes to the unity of Africa as large, having one passport for the whole Africa, having one currency, having one language that is universal to us, having one dimension currency, yes. Having those things, the unit, we are different. We have different views. Some, they want to put South Africa first, get rid of everyone that is from Africa. That's what we have. But some, they say that they want what I just mentioned, coming together and have all these things that we use at once. Different views, but what we cannot escape is knowing that us as Africans, we are in a war. This is war, and this is bigger than these small ideas that we have. That put South Africa first, get rid of foreigners, and not even mentioning that the foreigners that we want to get rid of, people who are in Zimbabwe, they are speaking the same language that we are speaking here in South Africa. They are speaking in Ndebele, they are speaking Zulu, they are speaking Xhosa, and those are the main languages here in South Africa. They are those languages that they are making of this beautiful land of South Africa. Those people are our brothers. Those people are one of us. So this idea of these people are coming here to take our jobs, if you're opening the borders and start open trade, there will be no need for anyone to take each other's job. The world will be immense, because once you combine all these resources that we have as South Africa, man, the sky is the limit. But no, we are very much short-sighted. If you went to look for a job at the restaurant and you find that you're not getting the job, but the sister from Zimbabwe is the waiter, is the waitress there, you come home and start bitching on Twitter or whatever that these people are taking your job and what. But we have so many options. We have so many options in your hands and in your head. Instead, you want to take a job from someone else just because you didn't get it. There are so many jobs you can go for, because the next thing that you don't notice, now they will start saying in Joburg, let's say in Sentin, that the jobs, when they get rid of, let's say they get rid of all these so-called foreigners, but they're Africans, now they'll start saying we must get rid of Xhosas. So you're opening now the space where it's easy to get rid of people. Said, okay, Xhosas are taking our jobs here in Johannesburg. We as Zulus and let's say as Debeles, as vendors, Joburg is ours. We are close to Joburg. They must go to Cape Town, or they must go to PE. The next thing is Zulus are saying that Sutus, they must go to Bloemfontein. Next thing, Tswanas, they must go to wherever. And the next thing now, it's only Zulus and white people are taking over. So let's just keep on fighting among each other and not noticing the traps that we are setting for each other. This is a trap. All right, so let's get to the Detroit thing. This kid peeing on other kid. Proper. It's a crazy thing. He is peeing. Okay, if you haven't seen the video, you'll probably see it elsewhere. But what happened is, I think by now you must have seen it. So what happened is this dude, Italian or whatever, Detroit, in Stellenbosch, he went into this black kid's room and started peeing all over his table where there's laptops and his belongings and his things that he used, like the spoons and all over. Start peeing. So he comes in and asks, "Bra, what are you doing, bra? Why are you peeing all over my stuff? Why are you peeing in my room, bra?" This guy is saying some stuff that I cannot really hear what he's saying, but it seems like he is drunk. I don't know. It seems like he's drunk. It seems like he's out of his mind. I don't know what's going on with him. But that act, that is the very much act of demeaning that they used to use in the times of apartheid. White people used to use all those kind of things to diminish and to look down on black people. If you remember, a few years ago, I think it was quite a while, not a few years, the issue of this old woman that used to work in the University of Free State, where these white people, not even people who are white kids, but now they're older. So white kids, they pee on the bread and gave it to her to eat. In the freedom, independent times of South Africa, now we're seeing the white boy peeing all over the black kid stuff called babalo. So what's strange about this thing is that we look at it as this is an act of racism. This guy, what. So what I was saying all along is that we are at war. They don't want us amongst them. They don't want us in this institution that were so-called white-only institutions. Because if you remember that Stellenbosch University was predominantly a white university for many years, even after the independence that we gained in 1994. That university remains the university that white people would go for all over the place. It was really hard for many black people to go in there. They would be raising your admission requirements and all these things. So, but now black people also manages to go in there. They qualify to go in there. They go, and then now they are treated like this. So these things have been happening from 2018. We had incident that was there of racism. There's too much of this that is going on. It's not only about the race. It's all about getting rid of black South Africans in these institutions. And mind you, this is Africa, where South Africans or black people supposed to be ruling and predominantly. When I'm saying supposed to be ruling, I'm not making a mistake. We are not ruling. We are supposedly ruling as black people here in Africa. The whole Africa. The only person that was ruling his country was Muammar Gaddafi. That was the person that was ruling his country, and also either way, Robert Mugabe was also ruling his country, even though that they sanctioned him to poverty, but he was ruling his country. And also Thomas Sankara was ruling his country. Patrice Lumumba was trying to rule his country, and then they killed him. But it took a while to kill Muammar Gaddafi because he didn't need anything from them. He had very strong alliances from Cuba, Russia, China, the Arab world. He had a very strong alliances to protect him, and he traded very well with other countries because he had oil and petroleum, all these things, all the resources he had it there. So there was no worry. Zimbabwe have a lot of resources in there, but no one is really qualified, I would say, to manage that and make sure that they trade with other countries that they didn't sanction them. All they want to do is to get that money and just eat it. They have houses all over the place. The Mugabe kids work houses over there. They are shopping in London, shopping in Paris, everywhere, instead of taking that wealth and distribute amongst the Africans in there. So the problem we're having as Africans is that we sixabisile kakhulu ukutya ngaphezulu koba senzele abantu aba besibathembisile ukuba sizobenzela izinto. Yona ndawo ithi qala ngayo kukutya, and that's very faulty for us as Africans, because if we are funeka utye nabantu, we must eat together, then we all be happy. Even if the food is gone, as long as we all ate, we will forgive you. If we all ate, we know that we all ate. But if you are eating alone, when the food is gone, don't come to us and cry and say, hey, there's no food. Otherwise, there's going to be a problem, if you know what I'm saying. So, man, this thing of this Detroit guy is a very strange thing. It's demeaning. It's taking away his human rights. He's taking away his dignity. I understand why when this Babalo dude saying that he's traumatized, he can't really talk now. I heard he went to open the case, and I don't know what happened to that, but the guy is suspended, of course. So we are waiting to see the results from the university, according to what this guy Babalo is requesting in terms of expulsion for him. So we want to see him expelled, of course. We don't want him to see him expelled and then next year is in the University of Free State. No, he must be expelled in all these universities for the next 5 years at least, or 10 years at least, so that he will think and know what he's doing. But even then, with all the connections and the money that they have, I don't even think he cares about school. He just went there to have an experience, not like us that we want to go to school, to go to varsity and go and earn the qualification so we can come back and work. I don't think that's the case with them. I don't think so, man. So, yeah, man, just make sure that you go to the website and go to podcast and check, man. The podcast is there. All these podcasts are here. The latest one was about the apartheid flag that they are planning on bringing it back. So there are a lot of stuff that you can do here, as you can see, to support us. You can donate 30 rands once off. Done. You get to buy these nice gadgets so that we can bring you the nice sound, nice quality, nice video quality as well. So you can do that, man. Add to cards, boom. Use pay fast, or transfer the money to my bank. That's good. Or you can just put in this is a monthly 30 rand that you can join the club. We have 7 people now, so that's a good amount that we get each month. The first month we had one, then the second month we had two. So it's running now for 5 months. So we have a nice 7 people. I want to make it to 10 so that we know at least we get 300. You know what I'm saying? So that's, yeah, so that we can improve, man. We can hire people as well. If we can also watch here to support, you can. The other thing that you can do to support is if you know someone that is an artist that wants to get into music, or also someone that is, or you are an artist yourself, you can use this distro link, DistroKit link to sign up there, and upload your music there so that they can produce or distribute it all over the digital platform, your Spotify, Apple, Google Play, um, all these platforms, TikTok, wherever. And I would get something from that because this is a referral. I think I'm going to get 200 and also get something for free for being referred. Or you can just, if you are into cryptocurrency like me, I have my money invested in Ethereum and Bitcoin. So I have that. If you want to, you can just use this promo code and sign up to Revix and make your first, let's say, 500 to deposit. You will get another 200 of Bitcoins to invest in. You see? So, yeah, man, let's support. If you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the podcast. Fikiria kwa undani. Duku.